Hey guys, I'm doing well today. So yeah, in today's video I'll be talking about the Friday games for round 4 of Super Rugby Trans-Tasman. So yeah, this means I'll be talking about the Crusaders versus the Western Force as well as Reds versus Blues. So yeah, starting off with Crusaders versus Western Force, it should be a very interesting game to watch, with both sides wanting to get a win, with the Crusaders actually winning last week against the War Ties away, so it was a good victory for them. They were also able to get the bonus point victory there, so they're able to at least still be in the hunt, you could say, for that finals spot. But yeah, on the other hand though, the Western Force, they are not really in the conversation, you could say, for the finals. They have lost all 3 games from the competition so far. The last one including the Hurricanes away. So yeah, that was a tough one to take. Probably their worst loss, I'd say, so far. So they'll be definitely just be looking to improve on that for sure, because they just were nowhere near as good as what they were within those first 2 games. Yeah, anyway, here are the lines obviously for both sides. I run the bar with you guys, and yeah, I'll tell you what I think about them, and yeah, I'll give a prediction on that afterwards. So obviously the game is being played within Christchurch, so yeah, the Crusaders will have home advantage. But if you do look at this Crusaders side here, it's kind of, I'm not going to say their best team overall, because they have rested some key players, obviously from the backs and forwards, especially within that number 10 spot, but I'll get onto that later. But yeah, obviously with the Crusaders, for the forward pack, they do have the likes of Tamale Williams, Cody Taylor, as well as Michael Alatoa making up that front row. And then for the lock pairing, they have the likes of Scott Barrett, who of course is the captain for the Crusaders, and his partner in crime will obviously be Mitchell Dunshea. And obviously for the loose forward pack, they have the likes of Y2 Douglas, Sanu Havili, as well as Cullen Grace. So yeah, pretty good, I'd say, forward pack there for the Crusaders. I wouldn't say it's their best forward pack, but obviously you have to understand that they're making some changes in this game, which I think is pretty smart, actually, to say the least. I mean, they've obviously put in Tamale Williams instead of George Bauer, which I think he deserves a rest, so it'll be good to see how Williams plays within this game. I mean, obviously, who else is in here? I mean, they haven't even put in Ethan Blattler, who I believe is still injured, or he's just not playing still, so that's just kind of deal with that one for the time being. But yeah, I mean, even like Simon Whitelock, he's not even playing for this game. They've obviously stuck him with Mitchell Dunshea ahead of him, so it's good to see he's getting at least some rest towards next week's game. But yeah, I mean, other than that, that's really all the changes they've really made within that front row. I think this should be a pretty dominant front row, I'd say, for the Crusaders within that one. Yeah, obviously with that back line, you do have the likes of, with their 9-10 combination, they do have the likes of Bryn Hall as well as Fergus Burke, which is not, I would say, their best combination. You could say it's probably their second tier combination, to be perfectly honest. But, Bryn Hall has a lot of experience, and I highly rate him a lot. He brings that energy whenever he comes onto the field, so hopefully you can kind of make that impact from the start of the game. On the other hand, with Fergus Burke, he just has to take this opportunity, because obviously he's kind of replacing the, you could say, the man of the tournament, in my opinion, with Richie Moana. So, yeah, no, he definitely deserves a rest. He's just been playing out of his skin throughout the last, Super B Alter and this competition. So, I think this is it. I think, if I'm not correct, this is actually his first rest that the Crusaders have actually given him in a while. So, yeah, he totally deserves it. But yeah, more or less, I mean, within those centre pairings, they do have the likes of David Havili as well as Brandon Enoy, so a pretty good combination there. Probably say their best combination in my opinion, but you can argue obviously the fact of good you if you want to. But yeah, I mean, with their wingers, they do have the likes of Lester Fanyanku as well as Masai Matalei at that 14 spot. So it's an interesting one where they've obviously rested as well as Sever Reese, which he totally deserves it. I mean, the thing with the wingers is that they actually have a lot more wingers they can actually choose from, which is kind of nice. So Sever Reese, it's kind of I'm not going to say it's the first time he's ever been rested, but it's also just good to kind of give Matalei, a game for his game for him. So yeah, just I think it's a good switch there. But yeah, I mean, obviously with that 15 jersey, they have the likes of Will Jordan, who makes up the rest of the back line. So yeah, and that's kind of it with that in the Crusaders back line. I mean, I'd say it's probably one of the strongest back lines, I'd say, within the competition. Obviously not this one, to be perfectly honest. Obviously because they've rested players, but normally they do have at least the strongest. Yeah, moving on to the Western Force, obviously, with the Western Force, when you look at their front, for their forward pack in particular, they do have the likes of Tom Robertson as well as Ikatao and Santiago Marino. So yeah, they have a decent, I'd say, front row there who can really challenge the Crusader front row, in my opinion. I think they actually have in my opinion, they could actually win that battle. But obviously that depends on the prop battle, you could say. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. You do have the likes of Jeremy Frush as well as Tamani, who's making it bad. There's lock pairing, which is going to be an interesting one, because obviously you have one who's experienced and one who's kind of, you could say, learning from him. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes in that combination against the likes of Scott Baird and Dunshea. That'll be a close battle, I think, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes. And yeah, obviously with that loose forward trio with the likes of Fergus Lee Warner as well as Quatea and the likes of Ollie Callan, who's in there instead of Tamani, which is kind of I'm not gonna say surprising one, but it's good to see at least a new face within that news forward trio. But yeah, I think overall, I think the Crusaders would win that pretty easily, in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, moving on to the backs, obviously for the Western Force, you do the likes of Thomas Kubeli as well as Yalti making the 9-10 combination, pretty good, pretty solid combination there, if I say the least. I mean, with their centre pairing, you the likes of Kyle Goodwin, who's obviously the captain, of course, for the Western Force. He's been probably their best player, I'd say, within this competition so far. He's been playing out of his skin. You do the likes of Tavita Karagiani, who's obviously his partner in crime, so I like that combination a lot because you kind of have him as a battering ram, and then obviously Kyle Goodwin being kind of the playmaker in that sense. Yeah, but for the wingers, they've actually gone to the likes of Richard Kahui at the 11 spots. That's an interesting one, obviously. They did that before, I think, within the first game, so we'll see how that goes again. But yeah, Tony Pulu obviously makes up the second one at that 14 jersey, and yeah, you have Jake Shackton at that 15 jersey. So yeah, I'd say pretty decent, I'd say, a back line for the Western Force. I'm not going to say they're absolute strongest, because I feel they could have switched some players in and out. Yeah, overall, I think both sides have gone with, I'm not going to say their best side in my opinion, but I still think it'll be a good game overall. I mean, if I have to say who actually wins that game, I still think I'm going to edge it towards the Crusaders, even though they don't have their best players, I'd say available, well, not playing, you could say, within this game. I still think the Crusaders will win that game, so I'm going to say they'll win this game by at least, I'll say, by 12 points, yeah. So I'll say they'll win this game, I don't know, 28. Is that too? I think they even go higher. You know what? Actually, scrap that. I'm gonna say they'll win this game by 15 points. So I'll say they'll win this game at least 30 points to 15. Yeah, 30 points to 15 is my final prediction for that game. Then we're moving on to the next game, obviously, which is the final game for the Friday games, which is Reds versus Blues. Very excited for this one as a Blues fan. This is a key game really for the Blues. If they can win this game realistically, I think they make the final, in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, yeah, this is also a very good game for the Reds, because they're obviously coming back from that victory over the Chiefs, so they actually, kind of got the, you could say started the ball rolling, with that first win over the New Zealand side. So yeah, good win I'd say overall for the Reds. They had a little scare at the end. They could have lost it, but they held their own. So we'll see what happens with this one. I mean, yeah, here are the sides obviously for both those teams. I'll run them by with you guys, and yeah, I'll tell you what I think about them, and yeah, I'll give my prediction afterwards. So with this one, with the Reds, you do a pretty good side, I say overall. They do have an advantage at the end, so they will be playing within Brisbane, of course. That front, particularly that front row of the likes of Fakataya, as well as Brendan Pengamosa and Tenelo Tupo, very good, I'd say, front row. Probably the best, in my opinion, I'd say, for the Australian sides. But they are facing the Blues, who have a very good front row, in my opinion. So that'll probably be a key battle for sure. I mean, for the Reds, with that lock pairing, they do have the likes of Ryan Smith as well as Sakai Loto, so good pairing there. I'm not going to say their best pairing, but still a good pairing overall. With that loose forward trio, they do have the likes of Angus Scott-Young, Liam Wright at 7 instead of Fraser McWright, so an interesting selection there, and of course Harry Wilson. So yeah, I say pretty good front forward pack there from the Reds. Not really anything, they haven't gone with any switches, so I'm pretty impressed with that front row overall. I mean, with that back line overall, back line there, with the likes of Tate McDermott as well as James O'Connor making that 9-10 combination. James O'Connor obviously is the captain for the Reds as well, so hopefully he can kind of lead them on towards a victory at the wait and see. But yeah, I think that's a very good combination and probably the best, I'd say, within AU, and maybe probably the best. I'm not going to say that, actually no, I'd say the Brumbies 9-10 has probably been slightly better. But yeah, with that centre pairing, you do the likes of Isaac Henry as well as Hunter Pasami, so a very good combination. Henry will obviously be hoping to continue his, you could say, try and score record with 2 tries last week, getting on his debut, I believe. So yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, with the wingers, they do obviously have the likes of Dangolu as well as Vanavalu. In my opinion, that's probably their best winger pairing. I think they should go with. Vanavalu has been brilliant since he's come to the Reds, and Dangolu is just so reliable. I like Dangolu a lot. I really liked him, particularly last season as well. So yeah, I like him in that position of 11. And of course, you have Bryce Henry at 15. So yeah, overall, very solid back line, probably the best within the competition, I say, for the Australian sides by a mile. Then we're moving on to the Blues. Obviously, for the Blues, you do the likes of Carlton Mafe as well as Kurt Eklund and Officer Fassi making that front row. So yeah, in my opinion, this might be, I'm not going to say it's biased, because I think it's kind of true in that sense, where I think the Blues do actually have the best front row. I'm going to say that because with the amount of depth they also have within the position as well, with Neville Law as well as Alex Hodgman coming off the bench. So yeah, I just think that's really a strong area for the Blues. So I think they should win that battle, but it should be very close, I think. With the likes of Gerald
Gerald Tawade, you do the likes with him partnering up finally with Patrick Tupolotto, who's finally come back into the starting frame, so it's good to see how he'll go. From this game, obviously replacing Goodhue with that, you could say, finger injury. I'm not sure how long he's out for, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, obviously with that trio, with Tom Robinson obviously making the captaincy, with Dr. Valley at 7, and then of course Akira coming in at 8 instead of Tutu, should be a very interesting, you could say, selection there, because within this game I actually would have gone with Akira ahead of Tutu. I just think he brings that X factor within most games. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. I mean, actually I would have actually liked seeing Akira and Tutu, to be perfectly honest, but you need Tom Robinson. He's been brilliant so far for them, so I'm not going to argue that one. So yeah, moving on to the backs, obviously for the Blues, you do the likes of Finlay Christie as well as Ontario Black, who are both brilliant within last week's game against the Brumbies. I mean, yeah, they really stood out, I'd say, by a mile. I mean, Finlay Christie, like I said before, in my opinion, I think he scored the try of the competition, but we'll have to see how that goes. With the centre pairing, obviously they've stuck him with TJ Vanney as well as Rico Lani, so a pretty good combination there. I wouldn't say they've made the impact they've made within previous seasons. I mean, I said those two, they really stood out, I'd say, within the first Super Rugby Ulterior competition, but since then they've always had one-off games where they kind of, they don't really make much of an impact, and then they just shine completely, so hopefully we'll see both of them do a lot of damage within this game. Yeah, obviously with the wingers, you do the likes of Mark Tilley actually coming in replace of AJ Lamb, so happy to see that. I want him to get more game time because I really like him as a winger. He was so solid for us last year, and yeah, I just hope he continues as gets back to form really, because he was even in the All Black frame at one point. So it's one of those which I think he totally deserves to get back into the Blue squad. And obviously Brees Heem he's done brilliantly so far since he's been at the Blues. So yeah, I hope he kind of continues his try scoring record with 1-C. And of course Zoran Sullivan, who I couldn't praise more really. I mean, he's just a young up and coming player, and yeah, I absolutely love him straight away. Just because of his kicking, really long range kicking, and how he's able to kick for territory has been brilliant so far. So for that reason, I'm fully in for him. But other than that, I mean, that's kind of it with both teams. I would say who actually wins that game. I think I'm going to edge it towards the Blues. But I think they only win this game by 2 points, in my opinion. I think this will be a very close game. So for that reason, I'm saying the Blues are only win this game for, I'm going to say, 20 points to 18. Yeah, 20 points to 18 is my final prediction for that game. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of it with the video. Just to hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely comment, like, subscribe, and definitely subscribe if you can. We're very close to getting 200 subscribers, which is great to see. But overall, just hope you guys enjoyed the video. And see you guys next time.